Ready for a deep dive into a classic. Tonight, we're heading into the fog and onto the moors.
Ah, yes. The Hound of the Baskervilles.
We're going to untangle the threads of this iconic Sherlock Holmes story
A chilling tale.
and figure out what makes it such a timeless mystery.
Why does it endure? What hooks us? Well, I think it's the way Doyle blends those gothic elements.
Right, the setting, the atmosphere.
Exactly, with the sharp deductions, the intellectual puzzle.
So where do we even begin with a story as layered as this?
Well, we could start with a cozy fire, a cup of tea, and ease our way in.
Oh, I like where you're going with this.
Or we could jump straight into the heart of the mystery.
Ooh, okay, I'm intrigued. Lead the way.
Imagine this. The desolate landscape of the moor. A body discovered. Lifeless.
Okay, see, now you're just getting straight to the point. Sir Charles's death, right?
Precisely. It's this event, shrouded in whispers of the supernatural, that pulls us in, both as readers, and it's what draws in Sherlock Holmes himself into this web of intrigue.
It's true. Right from the start, you're kind of hooked, wondering if the legend of the Hound is real.
And to truly grasp that fear, we need to understand the legend itself, the tale of Hugo Baskerville.
Oh, yes, Hugo Baskerville, the ancestor who, became obsessed with a young woman. And wait, did he kidnap her?
He did indeed. Kidnapped her, and when she escaped, driven to desperate measures, he made a pact with the devil himself to catch her.
Unleashing that demonic hound on the moor. It's a story that would send chills down anyone's spine.
And it's fascinating how that legend, passed down through generations, becomes more than just a spooky story.
It's like this weight on the Baskerville family.
Precisely. This inherited fear, this curse that hangs over them.
The feeling that the Hound is not just a story, but a very real threat.
Speaking of intriguing characters, we can't forget our narrator, the ever-reliable Dr. Watson.
Ah, Watson, our eyes and ears in this world, always trying to keep up with Holmes.
Remember when Dr. Mortimer, the man who brings the case to Baker Street, first arrives?
With that curious walking stick, didn't Holmes deduce all sorts of things about him just from that?
Exactly. He observes the stick, Mortimer's appearance, and deduces that he makes his own cigarettes, is amiable, unambitious, even absent-minded.
It's incredible. It's like he sees things others don't, these tiny details that reveal so much.
And this is just the beginning. Dr. Mortimer, a man of science, he's troubled by what he's seen.
Sir Charles's premonition, the strange footprints.
It's this push and pull between rational explanation and the unexplainable that makes it so gripping, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's like, are we dealing with a curse or is there something else at play here? It really gets you thinking, is there something more, something beyond our understanding?
Exactly. And then Doyle introduces us to Sir Henry Baskerville, the heir,
Arriving from America.
unaware of the danger waiting for him back in England.
And he gets quite the chilling welcome. That warning letter,
Oh, yes, with the words cut from the Times newspaper.
like something out of a penny, dreadful.
And it's followed by that peculiar incident with the missing boot.
Oh, right. I'd almost forgotten about that. It seemed so random on my first read-through.
But with Doyle, and of course with Holmes, every detail matters.
Well, you would think, being a detective and all, that Holmes would be on the next train to Baskerville Hall,
But he does something quite unexpected. He sends Watson,
leaving Sir Henry in the care of our good doctor.
while Holmes remains in London, observing from the shadows.
You know, I never thought about it that way. It actually makes you wonder who's watching who.
Precisely. It heightens the suspense, and it allows Watson to step into the spotlight a bit more.
Right. We see the story unfold through his eyes, his observations, his own growing unease as he investigates.
And we can't forget that journey to Baskerville Hall itself, the descriptions of the landscape, the desolate moor.
It's like something out of a Gothic novel.
Indeed. And it's within this isolated setting that we meet the other characters, each with their secrets.
The Stapletons, for instance. Jack, the naturalist, seems friendly enough at first,
And then there's his sister, Beryl,
with her warnings to Sir Henry.
her pleas for him to leave the moor, to escape while he still can.
It makes you wonder, what are they hiding? And then we have the Barrymores, the caretakers at the hall, the strange happenings, the weeping woman.
Those details always sent chills down my spine. Like there's something else going on, something just below the surface. It's like you're walking a tightrope, trying to keep your balance as the story unfolds, and just when you think you've got a handle on it.
Doyle throws in a twist, a classic move from the master of suspense.
And not just any twist, right? We find out Sherlock Holmes has been there all along.
Hiding in plain sight, one might say, observing, pulling the strings from the shadows.
Talk about a game changer. Suddenly the stakes feel even higher, knowing Holmes is involved personally.
And then just as the tension is reaching a fever pitch, A discovery.
The body on the moor, Selden, the escaped convict.
His death, a grim reminder of the dangers lurking in this desolate landscape. And remember how both Watson and Holmes hear the Hound. That blood-curdling howl across the moor. I mean, come on, how do you explain that?
It's Doyle's masterful use of atmosphere, playing on our fears, blurring the lines between reality, imagination, and superstition.
Right. You start to think, maybe the legend is true. But of course, this is Sherlock Holmes we're talking about.
There's always a rational explanation, even if it takes us a while to untangle the threads.
And in this case, those threads lead us straight to Stapleton.
A wolf in sheep's clothing, wouldn't you say? Hiding his true nature behind that veneer of respectability.
To think, all along, he was the one orchestrating everything, using the legend, the moor, even Sir Charles's heart condition, to his advantage.
He understood the power of fear, the weight of history, and he knew how to manipulate them both.
It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous monsters are the ones we least suspect.
Precisely. And let's not forget Mrs. Stapleton, Beryl, caught in the middle of her husband's schemes.
She's such a tragic figure, torn between her loyalty and her conscience.
In the end, her testimony helps to bring Stapleton down, doesn't it? Justice is served.
But not without a cost. You get the sense that the moor itself, even with Stapleton gone, still holds a certain darkness.
It's a place where secrets linger, where the past has a way of reaching out and touching the present.
It makes you wonder, what other mysteries are still hidden out there waiting to be uncovered? What other seemingly impossible events have a perfectly human, or perhaps even more terrifying, explanation?
The Hound of the Baskervilles reminds us that sometimes the line between reality and nightmare is thinner than we think.
So until next time, keep your wits about you and never underestimate the power of a good mystery.
Happy reading!